Alright guys, Day Noodles here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Unobtainium Gear ANVRS Mk3.
It's at your house and you won't finish it.
You guys know it's relatively difficult to record, like video record night vision. There are a couple devices out on the market that you can use to get a POV point of view through your night vision unit that you're wearing. You have the Wilcox recording system, which costs thousands of dollars. You have the GoPro TNVC camera mount, which is a relatively big pain in the butt. It sets a whole GoPro Hero hanging off the side of your night vision device, and the quality of image isn't the best. And then you have the Because Operator recording system, which is kind of right now the most ergonomic and economically feasible recording system until you look at the Unobtainium Gear camera right here. All of those devices cost $400 plus, when this guy comes in right around $100. So that's why I was fairly interested in checking this out and seeing, does it stand up to something like the GoPro or the mainly Because Operator camera, or is it, something you might not want to look at? So whenever you get it, it comes in a simple white box, and you get the camera inside. You get a USB cable, USB cable. You get the actual device itself with one clip, and you get some instructions, and that's about it. I ordered specifically for me, I ordered a couple different clip mounts because I wanted to use a DEMA shield. These clip mounts are an extra add-on. I got 3 when I ordered. The one that was originally on was this guy here, which seems to be like a solid molded plastic, when the add-ons are 3D printed. So as far as how tough they are, I haven't had an issue breaking them, but they don't seem to be as robust as the regular one that I had mounted on. You can order it with a couple different brackets to mount onto different ocular lenses. Like I saw PVS 31s, ANVRS, and for mine, with my night vision unit, I just got the traditional PVS 14 ocular lens. So anything that uses those, you can mount this camera to. But that's about it. So not too much in the way of explaining. As you can see here, I'll let you read the instructions here. They're fairly minimal. So you're kind of just going blind with this. When I got it, I had to actually ask a couple questions to Because Operator himself, and I'll talk about those a little bit later. The camera, the functions of the camera itself are pretty simple. All you have here is a on power button, and really that's about it. There's a button here, which frankly, as far as I know, doesn't do anything. You have the USB cable slot here, and then you have the micro SD port here. The micro SD card is not included. They said up to a 32 gigabyte card can be accepted by this device, so that's what I have in here, and they're relatively cheap these days. I got mine for like $8 on eBay. The device here, it's fairly light, and the bracket is the cable here is about 6 inches long. So what you have to do is use Velcro, sticky Velcro, mount it to your camera here on the side, and put the other bit on your night vision and hang it off there, and charge it up through this cable, and you can turn it on. When I originally got it, I didn't know which way was on and which way wasn't. So I found out that when this switch, which turns like this, when it is away from the actual camera, is when it's off. When you pull it towards the camera, it's on. So I did add a little mark here so I can easily tell when it's on and when it's off. And that's about it. Really not too much else on the function. We'll talk about some of the issues and I've had with it, and some of the positives and how well it records. So next we're going to talk about some of the quirks with this camera. The first thing I noticed was the way that the actual camera lens itself was mounted to the clip here. And what it used was a double-sided adhesive tape like this, like with the foam, something you can use like a command strip on your wall, to actually mount it and to this PVS 14 clip. The problem with that I experienced was, one, it was relatively difficult to get it off without breaking anything, and two, the foam was formed in such a way that it wasn't a straight on view for the camera lens here. So whenever I mounted it to my camera, it was actually at a downward angle, and I didn't get a directly clear image through the tube. Fortunately, I was changing it out to the this other clip that they offered to mount it to, that accepted and allowed me to use a demist shield. So instead of using more of that double-sided tape, I actually used this like a different type of lower profile command strip that you could pull out the this plug like here, this little strip here, and it would detach it. It's a lot more low profile. It's a lot more sturdier, less play, less give to the double-sided tape. The other issue I experienced was not knowing how to turn this on. So when you get it, it was just in this position, but it had no power as far as I could tell. And I didn't know which way this switch was on or off. So it took a little bit of trial and error to figure out, yes, when it's this way, it's on and recording, and when it's this way, it's off. So I actually marked it with a little paint pen there, so I could tell which way it was on and off, which means when it is on, it's on right now. So there's no indication that it's on and recording, which means when it dies, there's no indication that it died. So that's my biggest issue actually with this device, is I have no clue when it's actually recording, other than if this switch is in the right position. Especially if you're using shooting gloves, it's hard to tell if you got a positive click right there. It's relatively small. So many times so far when I've used this, I thought it was on and recording, when in actuality it wasn't, for whether I didn't get the button all the way into the right position, or it was just dead. So if there's any way they can update it and have an indication, whether it be a light or a beep or something, to know that I'm on and recording, that would be a great, vast improvement over this current setup. The last thing here is the mounting system and how it's secured to the night vision itself. You use double-sided Velcro tape like this, and that's not really too much of an issue. But what happens is all you do is clip it onto your ocular lens like that, and it just sits there. And when it's on your face, when you actually have it in the down position, it's not too bad. The camera lens is pretty out of the way. You know, you forget it's there, just like you forget your nose is there pretty quickly. And it's not really that much of an issue. There's nothing that's going to snag. It's kind of out of the way, so it's not too bad. But when you stow it and it's actually up on your helmet in the stowed position, this I've experienced it getting knocked loose a couple times. Then you have this hanging down, and your lens, your actual camera hanging down in your face, which is not the best thing you want to do. So if there was a way it could actually be more secure, and I don't know if you could add a clip over top, or if you could do something, but to make it just a tiny bit more secure onto your ocular lens, that would also be a really good improvement. The quality of the recording is solid. It's not anything that's going to blow you away, but it's definitely not terrible. 1080p, 30 frames a second is what I've gotten out of this camera, and it is definitely usable. The audio, on the other hand, is kind of terrible, to just put it bluntly, but from everything I've seen, there's no good audio out on the market for a system like this, so it's kind of on par with everything else, but it's not the greatest audio. You're not going to pull audio. You want to have standalone audio with this thing.
Take it over there.
But it's very difficult with the smoke.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
So, in conclusion, it's a neat little camera, especially for the price. Definitely think there are some improvements that could be made to this thing, but if all you're going to be doing with this is to take it to the range to film some of your night shoots like me, or you're going to be just messing around using it on night hikes, or even if you're one of those guys that likes to do milsim airsoft and record some of that, it's definitely going to be something that you should probably consider, especially for the price. It's not going to break the bank, excuse me, but it's also going to give you a usable image. If you're going to be looking for something for a duty capacity, I would honestly look at something else. It's not the most secure and reliable camera. Maybe if it's something you're going to use for your personal recordings, maybe consider this, but if you really need to rely on this footage, I would not really recommend this thing. But, you know, it's $120 with the other clips at, you know, really competitive price. Maybe there'll be a Mark IV or a more expensive version in the future. I definitely would keep an eye out for any improvements. But as far as it stands right now, for recreation, I give it a thumbs up. For duty use, I would not recommend it. But it is a neat little camera. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for any future videos, please let me know. Please comment down below. And I'll see you next time.